Welcome to the Marketing Automation Hustle podcast, where we break down the essential strategies of email marketing and automation to help e-commerce brands hyper-personalize their customer journey and increase sales on autopilot. So get ready to automate your marketing like a pro with Caitlin Hutchinson.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Marketing Automation Hustle podcast. Thanks so much for joining us for another at-home episode. It's a little bit of a struggle right now, but we're making it happen. And our goal is just to keep pushing out content, new episodes for you, things that can help you get through this season successfully. So before we jump in, I want to let you know about a brand new ebook that we just launched. And let me just preface this by saying it's totally free for you to download. It's just a resource we want to provide for you. And it's called the eCommerce Segmentation Handbook. 12 e-commerce email marketing segments to maximize your customer LTV. And this is a really awesome resource for you to use as you continue to amp up your email marketing and automation game. And obviously we'll help you learn what those 12 different segments are, but we'll show you exactly how to build those segments, what kind of content you would send out, and how you can use those to create really personalized automations and emails that speak specifically to the needs and interests of each and every one of your customers so that you can make every single customer feel like they are truly your only customer. So you can grab that book at sendlane.net/segment book. That's sendlane.net/segment book. And as you already know by now, we're podcasting to you today from home. So let me bring in my guests. So as you all know by now, we're still from home. I say it every time, but just to put it out there, still here, but we're still pushing out these podcasts. And our goal is to just help you keep tabs on the ever-changing e-commerce environment during this time with the whole pandemic that's going on. But also we want to provide you with some really actionable tips that you can use in your business, in your marketing right now, so that you're not just trying to survive, but that you're really taking advantage of the opportunities that have presented themselves and you're really thriving during this kind of odd time that we're all in. So I've got obviously myself here at home in my office. Jimmy's in his office. Hey, Jimmy.
Hello.
And we've got Amir again out there on his patio, just keeping it real out in La Jolla.
Oh, yeah.
So we wanted to kick off this episode kind of as a follow-up to our prior one. If you tuned into that, we kind of went over just in general what's been going on in the e-commerce world in relation to the upcoming holiday season and how things are kind of pivoting. So this time we really wanted to dive into that, continue that topic, but give you guys some things that you can really take, actionable tips that you can start applying to your business and your marketing right now to prepare for everything that's coming. So Jimmy, let me ask you first, if you don't mind, kind of like summarizing for us what's going on right now. Why should anyone be specifically prepared this year in 2020 for the holidays? Like what should we expect?
Yeah, I mean, post our previous podcast that we did, I think where we should be thinking about is a complete shift in buying behavior this season, a shift in time, I think, where, before we used to be in like a bubble in a box of like exactly when holiday season started versus when it ended. I think that continues to get a little bit bigger and longer, and it also drives the behaviors. I mean, we just say again and again, it's like we're working from home. That just means that we have more time in different ways. It can be from the fact that we don't commute to the fact that you're just home and you don't have anything to do. So like people are already thinking about that. And, realistically, I mean, this year has been a tough year for many people in the world. And I think the holiday is something that people look at as like their getaway almost as well too. It's like something they look forward to. So like thinking about that, I think where you have to kind of realize is the world is not going to be the same as it used to be. Retail is going to continue to fall down. I'm not saying that retail is dead. There's no indication in my mind that retail is dead. I just think that there's going to be a shift in how people buy and what we're going towards. And I think retail is going to be much more encompassing of the e-commerce side, which is the digital side, with the this side as well too. So that's the over-encompassing side of where I would say that the market is going. And I think it's going to be a really interesting holiday season this year.
Totally. Yeah, I was actually reading an article that was saying something to the effect of like e-commerce has kind of accelerated by like 4 or 5 years just during this time, just because of all the shifts that have taken place and people just adjusting to doing things online and retailers upping their online game. So it'll be very interesting this upcoming season. So with that in mind, we wanted to make this podcast, like I said, truly actionable for you. So it's going to be just a wrap up of 5 easy tips that you can take directly from this podcast, directly what we chat about here, and go implement that into what you're doing right now to make sure you're prepared for what's coming. We see a little chaos coming our way this upcoming season. So you're definitely going to need to be more prepared than ever. I know it seems like every single year there's articles on preparing for the holidays, but this year it's almost like it's crucial that you're prepared now. And even now, this is late August, even now it's a little bit of a late start, but you can still do a lot right now to make sure that you're prepped and ready for what's coming. So with that said, let's jump into our first tip, guys. We were talking about this earlier, just the importance of having all of your technology in place. And that's a huge one because that's really going to make or break everything for you.
Totally.
Yeah,
I mean, totally. Yeah, I mean, I can't state how important, like, I think everything else we're going to talk about relates back to this first topic, which is if you don't know how to handle your customers' issues, you're going to be in trouble. Because as much as this is an opportunity for you, it's even bigger in terms of, hey, this is not just an opportunity to make money. This is an opportunity to establish a reputation. So if your reputation is, I'm not getting great customer service, that carries with you into 2021. So 100%, this is a big topic.
Yeah, and to kind of continue on with that, the way that I'm thinking about why technology and why it's such a big side of it, and I'm not talking about us, I'm not talking about this side, I'm not even talking about MarTech side, I'm talking about the establishment of technology on the base of the actual company. And I think it's not just about the technology, but it's about making sure that you have the expertise to curate that experience as well too. E-commerce, right? I look back at my history of my store. I mean, we used to make 30 to 40% of our annual income during the holiday season, right? In order to replace that and make it grow, right? We're not here to just do the same thing we did last year. That, to me, that's not success when you do the same thing you did last year. You need to improve upon that and make it better. I think that there's bigger parts to it. Now, I think there's 2 parts to it. I think technology and then secondary, the customer experience and, basically CRO, which is, optimization of your actual conversion rates, right? Conversion rate optimization and getting yourself nailed down, tested, and get there, right? So I think in my mind, the way I first think about it is I don't even look at the exact, like the page. I look back even further than go, do I have the technology in place today that can allow me to double, triple, or quadruple the number of people that come to my store order and be able to take that information and logistically flow them through purchasing to shipping to post-purchase and really getting that all tied together and getting it really tight today. And I think that's my first side of technology is like, who is your technology provider? Are you ready? Maybe you're a Shopify user and you might need to go to Shopify Plus because you're about to get a horde of traffic, right? And you need that customized experience on that side. Or maybe you're on a something like Wix or something really basic platform and you're like really counting on it, but forget the whole fact that, you probably don't have the scalable setup right now. So the number one thing I'll say is like, if you're not thinking about the future, as a good business owner, you should always be thinking about 6, 12, 9, 2, 3, 4, 5 years into the future. And if you're not thinking about yourself and setting yourself up today for that success, I think you're going to run into a lot of problems. And then the second time part of it is really, do you have the right people? I think it's not only just technology. I think it's the right people. Do you have the right people in the company that can help you set this up? I know everybody has that like, oh, that person can handle everything. But the reality is it's not about handling stuff anymore. It's about actually being good at it and having the right people to help it. I think I already know the digital marketing space is blown up because everyone's out there looking for all these specialized people because they recognize that, oh, media buying, oh, that used to be easy because I would just set up retargeting and some basic stuff. Well, now it's going to be crucial because the events, how they flow, how the setup needs to go, how things need to change, how all the pixels should be changing, how the optimization, what's my conversion rate? Did you know that if you take a site and make it 1% to 2%, you could double your income? And that literally is a job and function of somebody. And so I don't think it's just technology, but it's technology with the right people. And that's essentially what I'm thinking about when it comes to technology so far, at least in my mind.
Totally.
Other parts.
Yeah, I mean, the thing I would totally throw out there too is if you're looking at the technology side, let's like take a scenario. Let's say you sell products and the other products on your site are complementary to that particular product, right? You need to establish a upsell system today, because when you go, let's say you're gonna do, your order numbers go from 1,000 orders per month, and then come next month, it's going to be 5,000 orders, right? So that's 4,000 new opportunities to do an upsell. So there are systems like one-click upsell where you can do product recommendations at the point of checkout, where people can simply add, hey, that $10 little item is going to help me, whatever I'm doing with the product that I bought. So think about upselling. Think about other ways of selling those products, right? Because it's not just, hey, I'm coming to buy one thing from you. People don't think that way. That's not the buying psychology. When they see something that they want, they're going to buy it. And if it's, I'm already buying X product and I can add this product on, you need to be facilitating that process today. What you don't want to happen is they buy that product from you and then they go buy that recommended product on Amazon, right?
Absolutely. I agree with you on that as well too. I didn't even think about that side of technology. It's like, it's really just not even about just getting people in, and that's all I talked about. Now you just talked about how do you take those people and maximize on them. Look, we all run businesses. I know that people are passionate about the things, but ultimately what runs a business is money, right? We've got to think about that. And if you're creating a great experience for the customer and, you're selling this pen and then maybe you're selling the pen cover and you're selling the sticker that goes on a pen, as long as it's congruent and it makes sense, that's, to me, is a service to the customer. To a customer to be like told, like, I got this pen, by the way, don't forget to get the cover, because a lot of our customers really love the cover because it helps protect the pen and make it a long-term investment. You're painting a picture, you're telling a story, you're giving them a reason and why. It no longer feels threatening. But if I'm selling this pen and I'm like, I don't know, here, I'll find something, and now you need to buy this headset, it would make zero reason why it's happening, right? So making sure you're curating the experience end to end, from the day they visit your store to the day they make their purchase to the day they make their repeat purchase, and continuing to tell their friends and become an advocate. So like making sure you have the technology across all spectrums to ensure that you can create that experience. And if you don't know, you should be talking to people about it. And it's something that you should talk to. And I'm not saying you have to talk to us. Obviously, we want to talk to you and we'll be happy to help you. But reality is, like, whoever your provider is or whoever your team is or whoever your agency is, they should be able to help you with this and realize, like, you probably are missing a lot of stuff in your stack right now. And I know it sounds expensive because you have to invest in all this money right now and today, but the money that you can get, it can be tenfold, especially the amount of traffic you're going to get. Remember, Walmart, Target, a bunch, Home Depot, a bunch of companies now, Best Buy, they're not opening for Thanksgiving. When these people are traditionally over the last 10, 20 years been used to like standing in line for Thanksgiving, Black Friday deals, and now realizing, hey, I've got my whole evening available to me, guess what they're going to be doing? Be surfing online, because I know I'm going to be on my phone surfing online, and I'm just going to be looking at stuff. I don't even know what I want to buy. I don't even know what I want to do right now, but I need to start thinking about it too as well, because the holidays are coming. Kids need stuff. Not that the kids need anything special, because a box will be happy for them, but still going to be thinking about it, right? So anyways,
totally.
That's my take there.
Yeah, totally. And while you guys were just mentioning that, just going back to the basics, just considering for myself, just the lack of patience we have as consumers shopping online. I think it's so important just to even address the basics of load times on your site and the flow of the checkout process, and, payment processing and everything, because I think any little glitch in that system throws people off, and it's so easy to exit out and just pop open a new tab, go somewhere else and keep looking. Because I know if I'm doing it, other people are doing it, because we just don't have the patience right now, because we've got instant gratification, especially the big players. Their sites are fast, boom, boom, boom. I just bought something the other day. PayPal didn't load, refreshed like 6 or 7 times. PayPal didn't load. I didn't even buy it. And I honestly, sitting here right now, I can't tell you what it was. I don't remember. Because kind of like Amir mentioned with the upsell, if it's in front of you and you've convinced me that I need it, I will buy it, because it's just a one-click add to cart. And especially now with all the integrations that are available to you, it's so easy to get this stuff set up so it's not completely dependent on just you to make all these moving parts work. So I just think in general, the seamless flow of everything is so important, not just for the customer experience, but just in general, because that doesn't just apply to the holidays, that applies forever. So if you're finding people right now during the holidays that discovered your brand through ads or whatever, they click through to your site, it's not loading, the payment processing's not working, the checkout process is a pain. If they exit out, you potentially have lost them forever. They're not going to go back to you because it was already a pain. And it might sound silly that we don't want to wait, more than 5 seconds even for a page to load, but it is what it is.
That just goes back to marketing methodology. You got 5 to 15 seconds to catch someone's attention before they move on. That's the same pure example. Buying is impulsive too. And within those 15 to 22 minutes that you're waiting for a site to load or something to happen, you may even really quickly have a change of pace. And let's face it, holidays are all about impulse buys, because you have zero clue what you're buying for the person. Obviously some people have like, oh, this person will really love this because they're asking for it. But 90% of the time you're buying things on whim, and you're not sure. But when you find something that you feel good about and your experience was good and you look like that product, you're going to probably buy it, right? So I think it's even more crucial. But I love what Caitlin just said. Everything you're setting up for today, yes, I know it's for the holidays, but really it becomes a forever thing. It becomes something you can implement to your business. And next year, as your business continues to rise and e-commerce and retail and online, the split continues to happen. Like, all you're setting up for yourself is a success, basically. So I'm with you on that, Caitlin, for sure.
Totally. And
I wanted to add one other thing. Sorry, Caitlin, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just want to say one thing. If you're a business owner and you're watching this and you're like, yeah, well, that sounds great, but what technology? I'm not a technology guy. Here's the best part of it. You need to be a products guy, because that's why you own the business you own. Mm-hmm. That product, you're a product, that the product you sell is what you're a master in, and that's what you should be thinking about. You shouldn't be thinking about what technology do I know about. No, you should be thinking about how can I complement my products? Then someone can help you discover that technology. That's so important. That I think people, business owners, e-commerce stores owners think, hey, I need to be a technology expert. I need to be a Shopify expert. No, you just need to be an expert in your products, and then ask the right questions and someone will help you fill in the blanks.
Yep. Like Jimmy mentioned earlier, it's about finding the people. Like, we do that even in our own business at SendLane. Like, we're not experts at everything. So we're going to go out there and find the right people that know what the hell they're doing. So we're not just flying by the seat of our pants. So totally. Yeah, all great points, guys. So in summary, on tip 1, technology is paramount. Don't put it off. Look at everything you've got running now. Make sure everything's functioning, everything's streamlined, and that you yourself would be happy with the experience you're providing. And like the guys mentioned, don't think about it in terms of the traffic and customers you have now. Think about it in terms of the traffic and customers that the holiday season is going to present to you, and be ready for that kind of volume. So
totally.
Moving on, tip number 2, let's chat about marketing strategy, guys. Obviously, this also is a little bit delayed I know I said that earlier, and that's totally okay because there's a lot you can still do right now because like we just mentioned, all of this stuff is going to carry over into next year. So, I mean, holiday planning in terms of marketing goes, beyond just like landing pages, email marketing, ad campaigns, getting all that stuff ready. But I think it's a really good opportunity to look at your channel strategy, start thinking about how all your different channels are working together. Like take a step back, walk yourself through the customer journey that your marketing is presenting. And again, ensure there's no friction. Like promo codes, checkout prior, but also your funnels. When there's friction in your funnels, in your marketing funnels, that's going to carry over to your website. Like we mentioned earlier, it's all intertwined. But for me, thinking about this tip, I think it's a great time to look at how all your channels are working together.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, how you can create a experience through the channels. I look at it like this, right? I look at everything that I do in its funnel, right? I look at the top experience, which is the prospecting. Now, in the past, you had a mall, you had a store, somehow you were kind of getting in front of people. You got to replace that now. You got to find those people, those same people, hopefully, that used to come to your store. You've collected email addresses, for example. I hope you did. And if you didn't, then, well, something you're going to have to figure out. But if you did collect those, at least you can kind of curate them and guide them along the way. But I think where marketing comes into play really big is like thinking about top of the funnel and like what you said, like curating that entire experience. But it starts with, how does the prospecting work? Well, if they visit your store, how does the retargeting work? Are you changing the ads enough? And then you continue to drill down. Where's the emails? Where's the SMSs if you're doing any of those as well too? Then when they get to your page, what does that experience look like? And then it doesn't end there, right? It goes all the way down to the other side. You're still doing marketing when the customer is purchased. I think too many people forget that marketing doesn't stop. The bottom of the funnel is when you make a purchase, and guess what? That funnel opens back up on the bottom like an hourglass. And when you think about the bottom of the funnel, it's about nurturing those people and keeping them as close to that top of the funnel and getting them further away until they become advocates of your brand, right? This is where I think the people are going to really lose it because they're not thinking about it like that. They've always thought about acquisition. And I think this is the year finally people are realizing, hey, if I have a really loyal customer base, people are going to end up spending more money with me as well too. So that's where marketing is not just about getting new customers. It's also taking your current customers and marketing them and also getting them to talk about you and using referrals and renewals. I mean, there's so many things we can talk about. I'm sure we can an hour on just about thinking about marketing for e-commerce.
Yeah, totally. And only thing I wanted to add in there is timing. This year, I mean, it's talking about retargeting. The cost of ad costs are going to go through the roof, guys. Black Friday, if Walmart and Target don't have their stores open and they're going to be advertising on Facebook, guess what that means for you? The ad costs are going to fly. So you really need to start thinking about starting a month before, right? Like you really need to start saying, hey, when it comes to Black Friday, my costs are going to skyrocket. So I better come up with a marketing plan that I can start deploying a month before, because your window is completely wide open. So
and test. I keep saying and test. You got to test your stuff. Don't think that you're a genius and you're just going to get it in the market. It's going to work. Got to test. You need at least a month to test. If you're not spending some time testing beforehand, like, come on, like, what was the point of putting the marketing together? Marketing fails 90% of the time. So let's figure out how to find that winning 10%. And the way you find it is by split testing and testing and more testing and tweaking. Like, it's never done. There's no perfect funnel. It's a constant. That's why I say smart people in your team to help you test and optimize. Like, I know it sounds crazy to have someone who's just sitting there split testing all the time, but every time they're split testing, they're making you more money. Don't forget about that. So marketing, there's so much in the marketing side of things. Or go find an agency that'll do it for you.
Totally. Yeah. I want to also actually go back to what Jimmy said just about not being totally focused on acquiring new customers, but focusing on your current customer base. Because I think right now it's really easy for brands to just want to like blast off emails with, price cuts and sales and whatever promos they can to get people in the door. But I think it's really important to really choose a strategy that connects with your customer, because if this person is a new customer, you're building a relationship with that person. If this person's a current customer, you're continuing to build that trust with your audience. So you kind of want it to make it a memorable experience, not just have it be thoughtless sales and promos, but don't lose your marketing knowledge, what you know about consumer psychology and how you have to communicate with people, because this is also a great time to be working on the relationship that you have with your customers, not just offering sales, trying to get more buyers in the door. So I think that gets lost sometimes during the holidays. And I think there's a lot of thoughtfulness you can put in to promotions that you're running or just your messaging in general, so that you're both, communicating your sale or promotion, but also communicating the value of your brand. And I think that's really important.
Totally.
Yeah. One other tip. If you're also haven't done this and you're getting into digital marketing, stick to one channel. Find a channel that works for you. I cannot stress this enough. Too many people jump in. I need PPC. I need SEO. I need this. I need that. I need Facebook ads, Instagram ads, TikTok, display ads. So great. And the idea is there. I'm glad you have that idea, but I've got to tell you, if you're new to this or your store is still relatively new and you don't have the thing, please don't try to spread yourself thin. Focus on one channel and optimize for that one channel. Obviously, the obvious answer is Facebook or Instagram. That entire, obviously, ad network is the easiest for anybody to scale with. But if you're a PPC guy and you really just like, SEM, for example, search engine marketing, for example, like stick with that. Don't go off and try to venture off and do 17 other things. I think that's another place that people start to fall apart per se. They want to get everywhere, and unfortunately, then you split your budget up, and you don't get to do anything proper at that point either.
Right.
So something to just think about on a second note.
Totally.
Yeah, definitely. I think that applies. I mean, obviously,
Everybody.
SendLane's not an e-commerce company, but it still definitely applies to us, because I've seen that in the past with our own marketing team, trying to do a lot all at once before we've really nailed down one channel. And you can see when we kind of pulled back and went channel by channel on certain things, that the results are there. They're great. It's been so obvious, but I do think it's easy to be very distracted by the shiny things. There's lots of shiny things in marketing. Lots of them. And there will always be new ones coming up in the future. But if you nail down one channel at a time, I think that's a great tip, which also kind of leads me in to our third tip. Now that we've touched on marketing, let's chat about the importance of automating these different channels so that you can prepare to scale them. And that's obviously what we're all about. We're all about the automation. So email marketing.
I mean, look, like if you just take email marketing out of it. Let's just talk kind of plainly. If you have a team of 3 and you are about to experience a massive explosion in growth, you are not going to be able to handle everything in a meaningful way, or you keep your customers happy. If you don't have automations in place, whether it be email or some other system, you're just setting yourself up for a horrible nightmare.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you want to be able to manage all of this growth. Again, you're establishing a reputation right now. Every time a new customer acquisition is very difficult, but it's also very important. If they decide to not buy from you for one reason or another, or if they didn't get an email about their tracking, or you didn't let them know about, hey, just letting you know your package is a bit delayed, it's going to be here XYZ amount of time. Little things like that make a massive difference the way people think about you. Then they get frustrated, and then they go, and by the way, most people vent negative reviews because they have this deep anger towards you. If someone has a great experience, if they have a good experience, maybe they won't share it. If they have a great experience, maybe they will share it. But if they have a bad experience, they 100% will share it.
Yep.
So you have to keep that in mind. Yeah.
I mean, God, there's so much to think about automation. I'm not talking about it. I'm with you on Amir. Like, yeah, you should automate your email marketing. That's an obvious. You should automate your That's an obvious. I'm talking about all the things. Like, one of the things that I think is a really good tip that I learned a long time ago as a CEO is look back at your day, especially if you're leading marketing or you've got pretty big hands in marketing. And I write down all the things that I did every day. And then you quickly realize, man, that's a $10 an hour task. That's a $5 an hour task. That's this. And I would quickly go and say, hey, can I automate it or can I go find someone to do it for me, right? So I can free up my time. It's the same idea. It's all about trying to automate it. It doesn't mean, by the way, and I want to be clear, it doesn't mean that you always have to use software to do it either. Automate could also mean like, I go hire a Upwork guy off Upwork for $5-7 an hour or whatever, and have him do a task that's so menial, something like adding a shipping notification or adding this, but just let them do it and get it off your plate because you need to focus on something bigger here. And that's what I think about when I think about automate. It's like, how do we get them into that right place and thought process there?
Totally.
Yeah, that's a great point. I didn't even think about like the other side of quote unquote automating things.
Yeah, it's human automation. It's still automation. You're just getting someone to do a repetitive task for you all the time and getting it off your plate, essentially.
And I think that's a great tip, writing things down, because like even for myself, like I've spent a lot of time doing stuff in spreadsheets that is really just a waste of my time. And Upwork, like you mentioned, is a great resource to find people that can excel in pretty much anything to take something off of your plate. But also in terms of automation, what we naturally think about that, like your messaging and things, you can hire people to build those out for you as well. So you can hire copywriters to write out emails. You can hire designers to design your emails. You can hire someone to put together that funnel. And I think overall, the cost of that, it's well worth it, because there's so many people out there online, thanks to the internet, just giving us people left and right that have so many skill sets. So that's actually a really great point, Jimmy. I didn't even think about that.
That's what I think about automation. I think the obvious is there, like email marketing and your channels, and that's the obvious, like setting up Zapiers, that's all obvious. What you got to look at is what the non-obvious automations are and starting to streamline that process, because when you're running around like your head cut off, like a chicken with its head cut off on 3 days before Black Friday would have traditionally been, and I don't know what's going to actually happen there, but like 3 days before that, you would have run around. And I do remember I was running around, oh shit, are we ready for this? Are we ready for that? Are we ready for that, right? But I think what people forget is like, hey, there's a way to alleviate it. There's tons of people in the world that can help you out there, and it doesn't have to be local, and you can really get that specialty help. And I'm sure we've seen it in our own company. Just go hire the experts. Go find the right people that do this all day, and you'd be shocked what it can do for you and for your business, and how fast it can help you accelerate and grow.
Yeah, I have a friend who has a small Shopify store. All of a sudden, he hit the right product, and it started to sell like bonkers, right? Like we're talking 5,000 orders for the month. This is a guy who's a very small store, brand new, only a year old, that kind of thing, right? So he hits this stride. All of a sudden, he has all these new orders. Well, what comes with new orders is customer questions and customer complaints and these things. So he's spending all day dealing with these customer requests instead of hiring someone. Meanwhile, he hasn't been planning for his next slew of products. So his order numbers start falling. Yeah, he managed those customers, okay, but he wasn't planning for what he's going to bring to the table next. And so he went from 5,000 orders for a few months to now all of a sudden he's back down to like 1,500 orders. Oh, now I got to start planning for what my next products are. Well, you should have been doing that before.
Correct.
Because you could have taken all that momentum and you could have capitalized on it. But instead, you were dealing with customer service, which again is key, but it's not something that you have to do if you can find the right people to support it.
Definitely. Which, Amir, tip number 4, let's chat about customer service while we're talking about it.
Man, oh man.
Customer experience.
Well, I think this is where we can excel and help people a lot, I think, because of our company itself. And what we're known for in the industry is really just insane customer service. You guys should, everybody, if people don't realize, okay, I'll step back and start with one thing. There's a book called Delivering Happiness by Tony Zappos, right? One of my favorite books, something that I read back in 2010, 11 when he first dropped it back then. It's all about the Zappos story and how Zappos became who they are. I literally think any e-commerce owner, if you haven't read this book, you should absolutely read it because yeah, the first half is a lot more fun. It's a story-driven side of it, and it's really fun to hear the story. But the other half is really the actionable step. And what I loved about this book is very simple. It's like this: customer service is not just helping those people that are buying from you or the people that have spent money with you. It's also about talking to the people who have not spent money and trying to create that experience for the future so that you can bring them back over to spend money with you. And then also getting the people who spent money with you to become advocates to go out and talk about you and tell the world about you, because that's true organic growth. Too many people focus on customer experience thinking about the buying cycle or how to respond to customer service tickets. But again, let's go back to some of the other things. Grab some great tools, great automations or people, and you literally can make that experience so great for people without the human capital or expense, without you spending all your time doing that, but also giving the people that experience that they require and desire, right? And I think where people are going to be really is like, I'm just thinking about myself. I place an order right now and I place an order for this pen. And then 10 minutes later, I'm like, oh crap, I really wanted to order 5 pens. Let me see if I can chat in. Well, guess what? When I chat in right there or I send an email in, you don't catch me within the next like hour, maybe 2 hours, maybe 5 hours. I'm probably going to be less excited about it because all of a sudden the excitement and hype are down. So, customer experience is kind of like your sales team in their own way. With e-commerce, you don't have typical sales teams that are out there calling and dialing. Obviously, when you get bigger, you do. But really, you're working and focusing on trying to maximize the seller. And it goes back to upselling. It goes back to all the different things that come in with it. But at the high level, my suggestion, number one and foremost, my tip here is go read this book if you haven't. It's a really great book. It'll give you that insight that you need to understand what it is to be on the other side. And then take yourself and put yourself in your shoes and go through your store and say, would I be happy if I spent X amount of dollars and I got this type of customer service? Chances are you probably aren't going to be. I know that even as great as we've gotten there, I still think we can be better. And you can always be better with your customer experience. And that literally will drive a business. It's what's grown Sendlane here today. I mean, we aren't who we are today if we didn't have such amazing customer experience and service for our clients that they aren't out there advocating to the world about us. I mean, that's really what our company has been built on. It's advocation and referral and word of mouth.
Yep.
Yeah, totally. Customer service is king.
Yeah,
it is.
That's it.
Full stop.
And how many times can we say totally in a podcast, guys? Totally.
Hey, we're from Southern California. We're allowed. I think I'm allotted 50 totallys a day.
50 totally. At least I'm not using the word literally all the time. That's way worse. So.
I really have made an effort to work out like, and literally, and anything that's going to make me too much of a millennial or too much of a California girl. But on the topic of customer experience, I, as a consumer, being the only female here, not that neither of you shop, because I'm sure sometimes you do, but I guarantee it's nowhere at the rate that I online shop. So I will straight up look on a specific brand's website for something just because of their customer service, even if the product isn't exactly what I have in mind. I'm willing to settle a little bit or spend a little more with a website that, the online customer experience, like we mentioned in our first tip, just the website experience is great. But second, that customer support that they provide is outstanding. And I always go back to Wayfair because I have been continuously very impressed with their customer support. The return process, super easy. Exchange process, super easy. And like Jimmy mentioned, getting in touch with someone, it is a matter of seconds before you are connected with a live person on chat. And they pull up your order, pull up your account, boom, 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 everything's settled. It's awesome. And that's so reassuring when you're buying something online because it's not tangible. You can't see it. You can't hold the cup. You can't sit in the chair, whatever you're buying. So it's good to know that you have somebody there that you can at least communicate with. Whatever your return policy is, that's up to you. That's a whole nother side of it, I think. But just having somebody that you can talk to, I think aids a lot of that frustration sometimes, even if you get an order that you're not happy with. you just want to talk to somebody, especially right now. Like, I know chatbots are the thing, but these automated chatbots drive me insane. I think that is a killer for your business just from a consumer standpoint. I think it's a killer because so many people have live chat people available that it kind of makes you already look second best.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really ineffectual. I mean, you think of Amazon. You think Amazon got to where they are because they have all the products? No. Amazon got to where they are. I mean, there's actually a formula you can look up that Jeff Bezos wrote that he's like his way of thinking. And customer service is like the thing, right?
That's why they bought Zappos, right? I mean, that was the exact reason why Zappos got rolled up into Amazon is because Amazon bought them for the customer service side.
Yeah. I mean, it literally, think about us. Like, you remember the days of Amazon? Hey, I bought this thing 3 months ago and now it's broken. Oh, yeah, sure. Just give it back. Here's your money back. I mean, even 2-day delivery is a customer service feature.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
What I was going to actually say, something that Caitlin said was refunds. I think making the refund also just as frictionless and easy is so important because, yes, I know they're refunding your product. You're not going to make any money from them today. But guess what? When they remember your refund policy and how easy it was to get this product, and yeah, maybe it didn't work out for them and they didn't like the product because of X, Y, or Z. Well, if they have a great return aspect and you're like, hey, I returned it, they were so easy to return. When a friend comes up to you and be like, hey, I'm looking to buy this pen. I use this pen because it's in front of me, but I'm looking to buy this pen. Do you have anything on it? Be like, oh, if you're going to buy that pen, go buy it from that company. And you'll be like, oh, did you buy it from it? Yeah, I bought it from I returned it because I didn't really like the pen. But if you want the pen, you should go buy it from this company. That's avocation in the weirdest way, but that happens all the time when it comes to that. I do that all the time with people. I'll be like, yeah, I returned it from Amazon, for example, or wherever. I'll be like, it's a good product. It just wasn't what I was looking for myself, but maybe it's right for you, right? So it becomes a different experience, but that's part of that customer experience end to end. The day they visit your site or they see your ad to the day that they return that product or make that repeat buying, you should make sure that experience is so tight and really good for everybody.
Totally. And I kind of want to address we're talking about customer service, like email response, chatting. If you're a smaller brand or you're just kind of like starting out, or maybe you're about to hit a lot of growth, I think it's important to know that you don't have to have this huge team to communicate with people. And I also think it's really important that you don't hide how people can get in contact with you. You should have a designated page, whether it's you can chat us, you can call us, you can email us, whatever it is. If it's on there, make sure that you do it. Don't put that you can call and they get stuck in an automated system that never ends and they never connect with anybody. Don't say you have live chat if it's a chat bot. And if you do have email, I think like Jimmy said, I think it's just about setting expectations. Like, we will respond within 1 to 2 hours. We will respond within 24 hours. Like, whatever you can handle, because not everybody is going to be able to be fully on top of it and super fast. So I think there's a huge part of it of setting expectations on everything, whether it's your response to an email or shipping times or whatever. Because really think about that.
Yeah, transparency. I love that. That's a really great one. I mean, just telling people, that's all they want to know. You're right about that. People just want to know. They just want to know what the answer is. If you don't leave them in the dark, it'll never be a bad experience.
Totally.
I'm with you on that.
Even things I've ordered, if it says it's coming in 2 weeks, if I really want it, I don't care. But you bet that if you say, hey, this is being delivered on September 1st and it comes September 10th, now I'm already mad because you had me all built up to the 1st to expect that package and it's not there.
Or you don't tell them at all when it's going to come. You just order it and you just kind of sit there. I think that's even worse. I think people are just, did that order happen? Are they really an online shop? Are they really this? Are we really this? Just set expectations, be clear.
That happened to me, guys. I said literally, gosh darn it. I said I was going to say but really, that just happened to me. I just ordered a wetsuit and the website looks legitimate. I see it's a business. it was one of those websites where this particular item's out of stock a lot of places. So I'm not super familiar with the brand, but I just went with it because the whole experience was good. It felt legitimate. It's now been a month. I have gotten no emails. No one's responded to any of my messages or anything. I haven't gotten any updates. And now I'm just like, that was $150 I spent, and I have no idea where it is. So I still haven't resolved this issue. But if they are a legitimate company, which it seems that they are from the research I've done, they're really failing on that front because they're not communicating with me, which leads me into our final tip on just shipping and logistics. I think the communication, the customer support, the technology, the automation all leads to this, because it's not your final point with your customer, but this is kind of the end of their initial experience with you. So I'm curious what you guys think, especially knowing that the holidays are coming and everything's online right now. We talked a little bit about this in the last episode, but just kind of the chaos that we see coming.
Yeah. I think be prepared.
Yeah, be prepared. Yeah. When I was at New and we had our Cyber Mondays, I used to remember our Cyber Mondays, and we had this printer that used to print all the Shopify order tickets as they came out. And it was so funny because we'd launch our Cyber Monday sale, Sunday night or whatever, and we'd walk in and there'd be so much paper rolled up on the ground of things, and all of our team just staring at it and looking at it, right? Well, that's kind of what you're going to be walking into, but for the next 2 months, most likely, it's just a lot of this happening, right? And I think there's two ways. Obviously, look, not everyone can afford to go with a 3PL, like a logistics company, to help them do it. But just drive the process. Find the right people. Hire some temp people that just do this. You know what I mean? Like, again, it goes down to people and having that. Or if you're big enough and you have enough, then go find a company like ShipBob, for example, that can help them automate that. Store your inventory, take care of that, and they've got a dedicated process to handle it all, and your stuff will get out there. But I think it goes back to what you said in my mind, expectations. If you lay out expectations, look, if you tell them nothing at all, my expectation in my head is it better be here in 3 days. Like, that's how I think about it. If you tell me nothing at all, you must be just like Amazon because you're so damn good that you don't tell me anything. But if you tell me 2 weeks and I want the product, okay, cool, right? But if you tell me September 1st, and it's September 2nd and my product's not here, I'm going to be knocking down your door because you promised me September 1st. So like communication is such a key there, I think is going to be such a huge part of it as well too. So that's my thoughts on shipping and logistics, at least on the high level.
Totally. Yeah. And I would just throw to layer on top of that is expect it. Like the fact that some of the biggest retailers in the world are all going digital for Black Friday means that, and probably the e-commerce volume has never been equal to what it's going to be. There probably will be delays. So if you are going to sell a product that says 3 days shipping, make sure you have a system in place that, hey, after that 3 days, if that product wasn't fulfilled, shoot off like SendLane does this. I mean, I'm not trying to plug SendLane in this, but it's true. After 3 days, was the product fulfilled? If no, trigger an email. Hey guys, just letting you know it's going to be delayed by a few days. After a few days, recheck, redeploy, keep the communication open. People are willing to wait as long as they know what's going on. You don't want to create undue anxiety, because undue anxiety is going to translate to negativity, and that negativity will follow you. They will express it online. They will express it to their friends, and then you will not be able to build a brand. Because you're not just trying to sell products. You're trying to build a brand that then can move products, right?
Definitely. Going off that too, Amir, just back to email. I think email is a huge part of this process. Obviously, you need to have other connections set up, other things automated, because there's a lot more involved in the actual shipping side of things. But as far as communication goes, I think it's so important to be triggering those emails like you mentioned, but specifically, your order has been confirmed, your order has shipped, your order has been delivered. Boom, boom, boom. Tracking number in each one of these emails when it ships. because I know for me, I keep things in my email. I search archived emails in my inbox, and you want some sort of reference number. I think that's huge because it's just easy to find the email, find your order number, click the tracking link, and see what's happening. So even if it's not, you're not fully on top of letting people know about delays, if you say something has shipped at least, and the shipping is delayed, at least I know that it's out. I got the confirmation. You got my order. I got the confirmation that it's on its way. And I myself can go look into that through whomever you use to ship, whether it's FedEx, UPS, whatever. It's so easy now to track stuff. So I get actually a lot less frustrated with brands if it's the shipping that's taking a while, because I'll click on that tracking link and see, oh, it's a FedEx thing. Because now I know it's out of their hands. So if I reach out to them, what are they going to do? It's just in limbo until it gets to me. So I think like those 3 points of communication are really important. They're super basic and obvious, but I see a lot of bigger brands not even doing it. And I kind of start to wonder, even an order confirmation, there's some companies that don't even do that. You've got the pop-up, but I've had a few places not send me an email confirmation, and that kind of makes me nervous, because then I'm like, I just gave you all my credit card information and my address and my name. The only thing I didn't give you is my social security number. And like, did you get this? Is it happening? Are you real? Especially if you're a smaller brand and you're trying to establish that brand awareness, it's even more important for you because people don't know what to expect.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, expectations, you need to set good expectations so that people can be happy and not anxious, so that they can keep coming back.
Absolutely.
Totally. So in summary, your technology should be in place. Everything should be working. Second, your marketing should be planned out. Start thinking about it now. And then I think even more importantly, reflect on what you've done this holiday season when things slow down January 1st or whenever they start to slow down, if they do. That's a really great time to reassess your marketing again, see what worked, what didn't. Third, automate. Obviously, the obvious ones, like we said, email, SMS, whatever. But like Jimmy mentioned, really important to just find people that can help you out and take things off your plate. Fourth, customer service, huge. That's a huge part of the customer experience for any big brand that has a great reputation. I seldom think you'd look at them and see that their customer service is pretty sucky. And then lastly, shipping and logistics, just being transparent, being communicative, setting expectations for everything. I feel like those are great 5 tips to get prepped and ready. And these are all things you can take with you, not just for the holidays, but into 2021 through the rest of your marketing strategy, and keep working through all of these things and build on them.
Awesome.
So anything else you guys want to add here before we sign off?
No, I think you nailed it with these are tips for the holidays, but ultimately these are truly just tips for building a brand.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. My only thing I have is I'm going to pitch ourselves and say, if you want the book, we actually have a great book that we're about to release. I don't know when this podcast goes out or this video goes out, but go visit our site and grab our 2020 holiday book that's coming out, all about how to navigate through the current situations in the world right now.
Oh, yes, you're correct. Our COVID holiday book.
Yes.
That will probably be, it's August. You can look for that at the end of September sometime. That'll be launched. So that's our goal. But yes, for sure. I totally spaced on that book. I was wondering where you were going with that for a sec, Jimmy. But also, just to throw this out there for you so you have something that you can grab right now. And just to preface this is totally free. These are always free downloads. We just want to provide resources for you that you can use to amp up your email marketing and your automation. This new book that will be live When this podcast goes live, yep, this is a live book. So if you're listening, this is up. You can go grab it. The book is the e-commerce segmentation handbook. It's 12 e-commerce email marketing segments to maximize your customer LTV. So we'll obviously show you the 12 essential email segments that you should have in place, but it'll also show you exactly how to build those segments out, what content you can create based on those segments, and then how you can take all of those different segments and create more personalized messaging for each and every one of your customers that ultimately is going to boost your revenue in the long run. So you can grab that book at sendlane.net/segment book, and that's sendlane.net/segment book. So thanks, guys, for jumping on here. I think this is our best one yet on COVID and e-commerce. So we'll keep this running because it's going to be a big topic throughout the rest of the year for sure. So for our listeners, thanks so much for joining us. We hope you guys are all staying safe. Hopefully we're providing you with some really valuable strategies you can start applying right now to your business and your marketing so that you're not just surviving, but you're thriving as well. And of course, if you enjoyed this episode, which we really hope you did, why wouldn't you? Please be sure to give us a like, a follow, subscribe, leave us a review. If you're on Apple Podcasts, that's how we get a little bit more traction on this little podcast of ours. So we'd really appreciate it. Thanks again for listening, and we'll catch you next time on the Marketing Automation Hustle. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
See you next time.